Okay, so I'm really, really excited to have Hetta on with me today. And Hetta and I have met professionally, and we really share values. And well, I'm going to let her introduce herself to you now. So, Hetta, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi there, thank you for having me. So my name's Hetta. I've got a company called Hetta's Helping Hand, which sort of supports and guides parents through their child's and baby's lives. And I trained as a Norland nanny about 10 years ago, and I've worked for a few families since, pretty much starting when they're babies until they're ready to start school. I'm now, because I'm a mum, I've decided I wanted to start developing a company that I can sort of support parents and give them confidence and guidance when and where they need it.
Great, great. And tell us, Hetta, tell us, not everyone knows Norland. So what's amazing about Norland?
So Norland is a school for training nannies, and it started in Hungerford in a little, like a boarding house school, and it's now based down in Bath. It takes in about 100 girls and boys per year. When I did it, there was about 30, so it's grown a lot since. Wow. It's a 3-year training. I think maybe it's now 4, but when I did it, it was 3 years training. 2 years where you're at school, you do a normal childcare course, but you also do the Norland part of it at the same time, which is practical skills, cooking, and learning sewing. Mm-hmm. And so it's 3 years, and then the last year is in training. So you work for one family for a year or longer, but they do reports on you and guide you, and you also have your teachers.
So it's obviously really, really comprehensive. And I believe there's a bit of a royal connection with the Norlands. What's that?
Well, actually, do you know what? It was never really well known until that there was a royal connection between us, until Maria, who's the nanny for George and Charlotte and Louis, wore her outfit by choice to the christening of George.
Right.
And everyone's sort of gone, who was she in the brown outfit? And so we suddenly got into the press, whereas before it was just, we were, and I am too, quite private about who we work for, and you don't really talk about the families because we're in their home, and
of course
people shouldn't be in their
but I think people are quite fascinated, and they're quite fascinated by the uniform. So
I think with the royals is a huge big deal.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's testament to the training that you get. So tell me at Norland and what kind of things they taught you about potty training. What were the principles?
So I think a lot of things and our training there is really focused on the child, and like when the child's ready, talking to the child, trying to read the child, and just gearing them up for doing the right hurdles at the right time for them, not necessarily going, right, they are this age, this is the tick list, we need to go through this list because they are now years old. It was very much, you could do it before they were 2, but you could also do it when they were 3, and it didn't matter. It was never, I really believe in not putting pressure on yourself, and through my experiences, actually doing it as you go with the flow is the best way to do it, without feeling the pressures of the other mums around you, the other nannies around you. Your child, your charge will lead you in the right direction, and they will get it.
Great.
In the end, you've just got and
and that's where I think you and I are so aligned, because it's that what's really nice is hearing it from you as a professional, and also that was the Norland approach, is that everything is about being child-centered, and and it's not just for potty training, for all of their developmental milestones. Some talk early, some talk late, and it's just, is that what, what you would say?
In agreement with today, because you're also in the same sort of same thing as me, in that it's just when they're ready. And it will happen, and you just have to be patient. Even normally it's when you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's not happening, why is it not happening, my child isn't the same as the neighbor's child, or the one someone else in their class. And then when the day before you're tearing your hair out, it's normally the next day.
Yes.
You get
and
my goodness.
Sorry, say that again.
You get to the point where you feel like it's never going to happen. Normally, once you've got to that point, it suddenly will.
Yes. And have you ever? Tell me about what you would be looking out for. What sort of signs would you be looking out for when a child is nearing being ready to start?
Generally talking about it. If they suddenly say they need to go to new, in any way whatsoever, or that they genuinely really don't want to wear nappies. And then sometimes that's a bit of a 50-50. Sometimes they've seen someone else who's not wearing nappies, and it's a bit of a jealousy thing, rather than it being actually they're ready. And so that's something you need to like slightly be cautious of. But a lot of the times that is the telltale clue. I don't want to wear nappies anymore. Great, I would love not to have to change another nappy, kind of thing.
And then you start to work with it. And I'm assuming you wouldn't then just whisk them off. You do some preparation.
Yeah. I think also summer is fantastic for that, because actually you could even start, if you're out and about on a walk, let's do a picnic wee and see what comes out. And
brilliant.
Let's do a wee on the tree. Don't worry, it doesn't have to happen overnight. It can just happen gradually.
Yes, I like that one. I was talking to a mother the other day, and I suggested that if they were out, her child didn't like the travel potty, and I said, but if you're out, what about a wee up a tree? And she said, we got into a whole conversation where she said, oh, that's an awful thing to do, and it's and you see men doing it. I said, well, just he's 2. I think you don't need to worry too much about whether he'll be antisocial adult. It's completely natural for a 2-year-old to do a wee up a tree, and it can get them.
The fab time to make going to the loo fun.
And I think sometimes I'd parents will say to me, oh, should I wait till the summer? And then that's a sort of a shame, because the child might be really ready during the winter. So I kind of, although yes, it is nice, it's, I don't know if you found you don't want to kind of miss.
Always, definitely. I would definitely, as a nanny, try and keep them off the carpets and the rugs. And keep them on the hard floor. But what child ever does a wee on a hard floor? I don't know. They normally end the carpet. Be ready with a tea towel and some spray, and we'll be fine.
Yes, exactly. Because I've had other parents delay starting because they were so worried about their carpets, and I've said, look, it's a carpet. It's a child's wee. It's not it's not bleach. It does come out, and you can spray it like you say. And when have you sometimes started and then decided, actually I need to put this on hold?
So I think that definitely happens, and that's not necessarily meaning that you've started at the wrong time. It just means that sometimes maybe you've started and it just hasn't been the right time for you, or you've suddenly got something going on and you can't handle the ways of life. But Yeah, no, I definitely think you can stop and start again. I don't think it's the best.
Yes, that's what I would say. Yeah.
It's definitely not the most easiest way to do it.
Hmm.
And but I also, if it's not working, 100% stop, because
Yeah.
otherwise you go down this spiral and becoming a bit insecure about it. You're starting to get insecure about it, so you're a bit worried about it. They can feel that,
Mm.
and it's better
Mm.
to just not make a big deal about it. Just the following day, just put a nappy on and don't even mutter a word. You almost don't need to say anything about it.
Mm, mm. And certainly no form of, well, you couldn't get it, so it's back to nappies, or, you know. And
Yeah, exactly. All super positive.
yes.
Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's really great. And when you've been working successfully alongside parents, what do you think works with the partnership with potty training?
all about communication, and sometimes sticker charts can really help that, because then we can both see what's happened during the day, over the weekend, in the evening.
Mm.
So we're all on the same path, and it's visible for the child to see the sticker charts working, or um, you know communication is super important, but you also don't want the mother to arrive and you go, oh, they made 5 mistakes today, and the child to hear that. So
Oh,
sometimes
that's
it's
good.
easier just to put it in a
Yeah.
message, say he's done really well today, but he has made a few mistakes, in a message, so that that child doesn't hear it and isn't feeling, oh no, I've let down my mum, or
Yes.
if it's me coming in the door in the morning and the mum says, oh, he's made this many accidents, they're suddenly feeling, oh no, and he's going to get cross with me or something. Actually, just put it all in a message, be really good at communicating, or on a piece of paper, and just leave it in the kitchen and we'll find
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Did you sometimes have
Just
did you sometimes have a communication book? So you would leave.
Yeah, 100%. So you always used to do nanny diaries,
Mm.
which are fab.
Mm.
It just means it's written down. They know what sort of thing we've done today, what food we ate, and sometimes you can add photos to it. Which now recently I don't really print that many photos off, so actually it's easier to send them so much quicker by phone, and actually it's nicer for the parents to have them on their phone.
Yes. Yes.
But I used to include photos of the nanny diary, but actually, by the time you pay for printers and
I know.
it's just, you might as well send them on WhatsApp. So
Yeah. Yeah.
really,
But I think it's such a good point that you're making in terms of the communication around potties, that that it's not done in front of the child unless it's a positive. But if they've had to have a day where they're just distracted, or they've just had accidents, not to be that form of verbal communication in front of the child.
Yeah, and just keep it on WhatsApp. It's so easy now to be able to communicate via phones.
Yes.
Or like I said in the nanny diary, that if you can keep it to that, that's the best way, I reckon.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And in terms of any things that you found work well for sort of helping them get prepared emotionally for the change, would you have sort of talked to them about, I know you've liked your nappies, and now I don't know, what kind of things might you say to a child to prepare them emotionally?
That's true. I think pants are normally a really good big deal, and if you can get pants with their favourite cartoon character on them, then but also, if the big sister's wearing pants, look, she wears pants, or mummy wears pants, and not only do they admire their cartoons, and probably more than their parents, they admire their cartoons more than their parents at the moment, but they do look up to us, they do look up to nannies, they do look up to parents, they do look up to their grandparents, their siblings, their aunts and uncles, and if they come around on Sunday afternoon, look, auntie so-and-so, she's got pants on. And that can be nothing that you need to rub it in. No, it's not a showing off thing, but it's just this is a normal thing that happens, and adults do wear pants. And
Yes.
I know a lot of children, all they want to be is an adult, and I want to be a grown up and do grown up things. And so sometimes it's a bit of that, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would say have a potty around the house, not necessarily when you want to start potty training, but just to make it a familiar object.
Yes.
And it may encourage them to be slightly interested in it. They may start recognizing it from books.
Yes.
Oh, we've got a potty in the house, potty in the book.
Yes.
Yes. But also, you know, friends, family that come round, they might have children that are using a potty. So if you've got one and they see, oh, little George from next door neighbour came round yesterday and used the potty, I want to be like George and use the potty. You know, it can verge on by a totally organic thing that just happens.
Yeah. No, it's really true. And I used to have one just in the bathroom. So before the bath, just, you know, do you want to hop on the potty? Just sit, see how it feels, not with an expectation that they actually produce anything, but just familiarizing them. And
yeah, just making it a normal thing.
Exactly. And I don't know if there was one more question I had to ask you. Yeah.